If you are over 40, there is one morning habit that could be pushing your blood pressure higher every single day, and most people do it before their feet even touch the floor. It is not breakfast, it is not salt, it is not even coffee. It is the way you wake up. And in a moment, I'm going to show you why this habit is so much more dangerous than it looks, why it hits harder after 40, and the simple change that could make your mornings feel calmer, lighter, and much better for your heart. Because this is not just about a number on a monitor. It is about that pounding feeling in your chest, that groggy, irritated start to the day, that morning tension in your neck, that go, go, go feeling before your brain is even fully awake. And the habit I'm talking about is this: jolting yourself awake with a loud alarm after too little sleep. Yes, that harsh, sudden, heart-jumping wake-up. The one that rips you out of sleep. The one that makes you reach in a panic. The one that starts your whole day in stress mode. Now before you say, "Come on, everybody uses an alarm," stay with me. Because this is where most people miss the real problem. It's not just the alarm, it's the shock, it's the sleep debt, it's the rush. It's the way your body gets thrown from deep rest straight into emergency mode. And after 40, your body does not brush that off the way it used to. As we get older, sleep often gets lighter. Stress builds faster, recovery takes longer, and your blood vessels may not be as forgiving as they were in your 20s. So the same rough wake-up routine you've had for years, it may be affecting you more now than ever. But here's the surprising part. Your blood pressure already rises naturally in the morning. That part is normal. Your body is designed to prepare you to wake up. But when that wake-up happens suddenly, especially after too little sleep, that rise can become much sharper. In other words, your body is not just waking up, it is getting hit. And this is where it gets dangerous. One small study found that when people were forced to wake by an alarm after short sleep, their morning blood pressure surge was much higher than when they woke naturally. Think about that. Not after a bad breakfast, not after an argument, not after running late, just from the way they were woken up. Now imagine what happens when you add real life on top of that. The alarm blasts. You're already short on sleep. You grab your phone. You see messages, bills, news, stress, then maybe coffee hits your system, then rushing begins, and your body has barely had a second to settle. Most people don't know this. Sometimes the morning routine they think is normal is actually training their nervous system to start every day in overdrive. That matters, because blood pressure is not only about what you eat, it is also about the signals your body gets. And the first signals of the day are powerful. So let's break this down simply. Why does this hit harder after 40? Because after 40, and especially after 50, the body changes in quiet ways. You may sleep fewer deep hours. You may wake more often. You may have more life stress. You may already be dealing with weight gain, less movement or medications. And your cardiovascular system may be less flexible than it used to be. So what used to feel like just getting up for work can become a daily stress event. And when something happens every day, it adds up. That's the part people ignore. They think it's only a few seconds. But it is not only a few seconds. It is the trigger that starts the whole chain. Now let's talk about the first major problem, the shock response. You're in sleep. Your body is resting. Then suddenly, noise. Loud, sharp, urgent. Your heart reacts. Your muscles tense. Your breathing changes. Your stress hormones jump. And your body says one thing: something is wrong. That may sound dramatic, but your body does not know the difference between alarm for work and something needs immediate attention. It just responds. That is why some people wake up with a pounding heart. That is why some people already feel tense before they even stand up. That is why mornings can feel heavy, rushed, and strangely exhausting. But here's the surprising part. Many people think the problem is that they are not morning people. Not always. Sometimes they are not bad at mornings. Sometimes they are just waking up in a way that puts their body under stress. That's a very different problem, and it has a very different solution. Now let's get to the second issue, the lack of sleep behind the alarm. This is huge because the alarm is often not the whole story. The real issue is that the alarm is cutting off a body that was not ready to wake yet. This is where it gets dangerous. If you go to bed too late, sleep poorly, or wake up over and over during the night, you are not starting from calm. You are starting from a deficit, and then the harsh alarm finishes the job. So now your body is dealing with two things at once: not enough recovery and a sudden stress signal. That combination is where trouble can begin. Maybe you felt it. You wake up already irritated. You feel your heartbeat. You feel pressure in your head. You snap more easily. You need caffeine just to feel normal. Then by afternoon, you're drained. Most people don't know this. Sometimes what feels like "I'm just getting older" is actually poor sleep and a rough wake-up pattern showing up in your blood pressure, mood, and energy. That doesn't mean aging is not real. Of course it is. But a bad morning routine can make normal aging feel worse than it has to. And the biggest mistake people make, I'll explain right now. They treat the wake-up moment like it doesn't matter. They focus on lunch. They focus on medication. They focus on salt. All important, but they ignore the very first event of the day, the thing that sets the tone for everything else. That's like trying to calm a fire after throwing gasoline on it every morning. Now here comes the third issue. What you do in the first 5 minutes after the alarm. Because this is where the habit becomes even more damaging. The alarm goes off, you sit up too fast, you grab your phone, you check the time, you see notifications, you remember what you forgot, you think about money, family, work, appointments. And before you have even taken a full, calm breath, your nervous system is fully switched on. That matters more than people think, because blood pressure is deeply connected to stress, tension, and arousal. And morning is a vulnerable time. Your body is already transitioning, so whatever you add right then can hit harder. But here's the surprising part. A lot of people think they need to wake up fast. They think the fast start is productive, disciplined, strong. But for many adults over 40, a violent start is not strength. It is strain. There is a difference, and the body knows it. Now let's talk about the fourth problem, the snooze button. Yes, the snooze button. People love it. It feels comforting. It feels like relief. But in many cases, it is not helping. Why? Because it keeps throwing your body back and forth between alarm, stress, half sleep, alarm, stress again. You do not get real rest. You do not get a peaceful wake-up. You get repeated interruption, repeated tension, repeated jolts. This is where it gets dangerous. A lot of people are not shocked awake once. They are shocked awake 3, 4, even 5 times in a row. And they do that every weekday for years. Think about what that teaches the body. Sleep is not safe. Morning is not calm. Wake up equals pressure. Over time, that routine can wear on you more than you realize. And if you already have high blood pressure, anxiety, poor sleep, or heart concerns, it is even more important. Now, I want to make something very clear. This is not about fear. It is not about saying one alarm is going to ruin your health. That's not the point. The point is that hidden daily stressors matter, and once you see them, you can change them. If this is opening your eyes, consider subscribing, because small daily habits like this often affect health far more than people expect. Now let's get practical. What should you do instead? First, make the wake-up gentler. If your alarm sounds like a siren, a buzzer, or a mini heart attack, change it. Choose a softer sound, a gradual tone, something that wakes you without scaring you. That one step alone can make mornings feel completely different. Second, give yourself more time. This may sound obvious, but it is powerful. If you set the alarm for the absolute last second, your body learns that morning equals panic. But if you give yourself even 15 or 20 extra minutes, you create space. Space changes everything. You breathe differently. You move differently. You move differently. You think differently. Your body feels less attacked. Third, get serious about the sleep before the alarm, because the smoother wake-up starts the night before. Go to bed earlier when you can. Keep your sleep schedule more regular. Dim the lights at night. Cut late caffeine if it affects you. And protect your last hour before bed like it matters, because it does. Most people don't know this. Sometimes the best blood pressure habit is not something you add in the morning. It is something you stop doing at night. That is how connected this all is. Now here's another smart change. When you wake up, do not leap up like the house is on fire. Pause. Take one slow breath, then another. Sit up gently. Let your body catch up. Open the curtains. Let in light. That natural light helps tell your system, we are awake now, no panic needed. It sounds small, but small, repeated, calm signals are powerful. Very powerful. And here is one more thing people rarely hear. Do not make your phone the second alarm. If your loud alarm wakes your body and your phone wakes your mind into stress, you're stacking pressure on pressure. Try giving yourself 5 quiet minutes first. No messages, no headlines, no problems, just waking, just breathing, just being human for a moment. But here's the surprising part. That tiny buffer can change the entire emotional temperature of your morning. And when mornings change, the day changes. When the day changes, habits change. And when habits change, health changes. That is the ripple effect most people never see. Now, I know some people are thinking, that sounds nice, but I have responsibilities. I have to get up early. I have to use an alarm. Of course, many people do. This is not about perfection. It is about reducing the damage. Maybe you cannot wake naturally every day. Fine, then make the alarm less aggressive. Go to bed a little earlier. Stop snoozing. Stand up more slowly. Don't check stressful things immediately. These are realistic changes. And realistic changes are the ones that actually last. As we get older, we do not need more extreme routines. We need smarter ones, kinder ones, more sustainable ones. Because after 40, the body keeps score differently. The things you could ignore before, you feel them now. The sleep you lose, you wear it now. The stress you brush off, it lingers now. That is not weakness. That is biology. And once you respect that, you make better choices. Now let's close the loop. The morning habit from today's video is shocking your body awake with a loud alarm after too little sleep. Not because alarms are evil, not because every early morning is dangerous, but because abrupt wake-ups, especially on poor sleep, can create a sharper morning stress response and may push blood pressure higher right when your body is most vulnerable, especially after 40. Especially if you already deal with hypertension, stress, poor sleep, or that constant rushed feeling. The good news? You do not need a miracle. You need a better wake-up.